Hello, look, it's a change of scenery. I'm not on the couch with that wooden wall in the background. I am in bed, and I actually just came to bed to give you a different background. That's literally the only reason. I've been up for hours. I've been doing lots of work. I've been busy, but I realized I hadn't recorded a vlog in a while, and I wanted to do something, but I also didn't want to sit with that same background again. So I'm here. Today is Friday. We have a huge winter storm coming. We're ready. We're prepared for it, but there's a cat tail getting into frame. Got a couple cats up here. So yeah, we're ready for it. It's not. We're ready. We'll be fine. We have all the supplies we need. It'll be warm in here. It'll be okay. So what I wanted to talk about this time, I wanted to talk about mental health. It's something that I used to talk about more, but I was concerned that by talking about it, those who read the comments and read the responses might be discouraged from talking about it themselves, because one of the things that you always have to worry about when you talk about mental health is all of the bad advice from people who don't know what they're talking about. You worry about people complaining that you are sharing too much, people making fun of you for being weak, people offering really unhelpful advice because they don't really know what they're talking about. And one, I think, unfortunate thing that I've discovered about talking about mental health is that you do get that. If you talk about it in public, you do get the comments that you're worried about getting, the discouraging comments that make you wish you hadn't talked about it at all. But I still feel like it's important and it needs to be talked about. So um, if you're out there and you're struggling with mental health, um, listen to my words and don't bother with the negative responses. Those people don't know what they're talking about. You do, and I do. So my um, my main uh, diagnoses are major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder. Um, I've had those for a while. Those are the most common forms of mental illness. So you there's a chance, a likelihood that you watching this also have to deal with the same thing. If you don't, that's great. I'm really glad. But I did want to give a little bit of insight on how it is to deal with those things. For me, it won't be the same for everybody, but for me, do those what are the symptoms of those disorders look like? Um, with with anxiety, sometimes one is more prominent than the other. Um, with anxiety, um, sometimes there's a trigger and sometimes there's not. Sometimes it just flares up, seemingly from nowhere. And it can, it's like your brain is convinced that you are in mortal danger. Like somebody's got a gun to your head. Somebody's got a gun to your head while you are suspended by a rope over a lava pit. Even though, you know, your logical brain, my logical brain says, there's no danger here. I'm not in danger. I'm in my own home. There's nobody's breaking in. The building is not burning down. There's no danger here. But um, the other chemicals in the brain are being released that give the feeling of like you're gonna die. Um, and it's not. I always used to try to think my way out of it, to logic my way out of it, and because logically it doesn't make sense. Logically, it's not true. Logically, there's no danger. Um, but depending on the severity, it can't be um, reasoned around. It can't be uh, thought around. It has to be. It's a chemical reaction in my brain that has to be dealt with as such. Um, and uh, for me, that requires medication. And medication makes a massive difference. It makes such a difference that I can go long enough between panic attacks or episodes of heightened anxiety or flare-ups that I feel like, wow, I don't really need this. Maybe I don't need this medication. Maybe I'm cured. Maybe like the medication, it doesn't um, provide any kind of euphoria. It doesn't. It's not like getting high. It's not like getting drunk. All the medication does is it keeps my it lets my logical brain stay in control most of the time. There are some times when um, the anxiety brain will overcome what the medication can do, but medication makes those episodes much less frequent and much less severe. And if I start thinking, hey, maybe I don't need this, maybe I'll skip the refill on my medication this time. Um, what can happen and what has happened is it can be completely debilitating. I have yeah, it was last no, it was 2024. I think the last time I let my medication lapse. I was feeling pretty good, feeling all right. And then I was in a hotel room. Oh, this happened twice. Um, I was in in two separate hotel rooms, two completely different occasions. I was in hotel rooms. I travel a lot, so being in a hotel room isn't all that unusual. It just happened to be there that these episodes happened. I could not move. I was lying in bed. I could not move. I couldn't get up. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't eat. I couldn't uh, change clothes. I couldn't move. I was stiff. My um, my lizard brain, the internal involuntary side of my brain, was in a panic mode. It was a panic attack, and it feels exactly like you're gonna die, like death is imminent, even though logically it's not. Logically, I'm lying in a bed in a hotel room and nothing is happening. And I can tell myself nothing is happening. I can convince myself nothing is happening, everything's fine, but it doesn't matter because the involuntary side of my brain says you are about to die. So here's how do you like these this elevated heart rate? You like some elevated heart rate? Here's some elevated heart. Oh, your breathing seems to be getting quicker and shallower. Are you gonna hyperventilate? You gotta your mouth is getting dry. Your the blood is flowing away from your extremities, so your hands and feet are getting numb. How do you like that? Just think your way around that, because these things happen unbidden and uncontrollable. And that's like, yeah, sometimes there are triggers, like sometimes there are things that happen that set it off, but honestly, sometimes not. Sometimes it's just, we're fucking doing this right now. And I can't move. Um, so medication keeps that from happening. Medication keeps the episodes are less frequent and much less severe. There's no cure because it's brain stuff. I have the brain that I was born with, and I can't switch it out. But um, uh, medication does help me stay more in control, and the times when it's out of control, it's not as severe. Depression is similar, but the symptoms are different. Depression it comes with feelings of hopelessness, feelings of worthlessness, a desire to isolate, to lock myself in a dark room and be forgotten. Um, uh, Feelings that I've let everybody down. It doesn't matter what I've ever done. The feeling is that I've let everybody down. Everybody hates me. I hate myself. And if life could end uh, soon, that would be better. And that is as uncontrollable as the anxiety is. It's a different experience, but it is equally outside of uh, any reasonable control. Uh, Thinking positive, hearing positive things from people, these are all really nice things. These are great things, but they don't control the involuntary side of the brain. For me, uh, depression comes with some other side effects such as irritability, impatience, insomnia, um, there are probably other words that start with the letter I. I just realized that we were doing alliteration. Um, but yeah, there are some things that come along with it. And medication, just the same as with anxiety, makes those episodes less frequent and less severe. Before I was dealing with it with legitimate medication, I was doing what a lot of people did, and that was self medicating with alcohol, a lot of alcohol. I don't drink anymore, except for like I'll have one drink a year, maybe two, and the drink or two a year that I have isn't really like my own drink. Um, Marianne will be like, "Hey, you want to taste this?" And I take a sip of it, and oh, that's nice. And that's the extent of the alcohol consumption that I have right now. I don't buy alcohol. I don't have alcohol in my home. I don't order alcohol when I go out. I don't need it, and I don't want it. I don't like the feeling of being drunk, and I just don't do that anymore. Um, but medication has helped me maintain more control over my own brain so that I don't feel the need. It's just not, I don't need to self medicate. Medication is, it doesn't work for everybody. I see people talking about how mental health medication, it's getting people hooked on these drugs that they're on forever. It's a treatment. It's a treatment to manage your brain, and it's not an addiction. Sometimes it might be easier if it were, because the temptation, if you're feeling better, is not to take more of it. The temptation is to stop taking it because you think, hey, we're good. Hey, we're good. It feels good to be in charge of my own brain. But the medication is helping you be in charge of your own brain. A good and proper mental health medication regime should not make you feel high. It's not getting stoned. It's not getting drunk. It's just helping you manage your symptoms to keep yourself in control of yourself. So I encourage you to ignore the critics of mental health care. Um, Go to a provider, uh, get the help that you need. For some of you, that may be medication. For others, it may be something else. And it may take some time to figure out what works for you. I went through several medication regimes before I settled on one that actually works with minimal side effects and some therapy in addition to that. That that's because that's my brain. My brain is not your brain. Your brain will work differently, and your brain will respond to things differently. So um, it takes some time to figure it out. It takes some experimentation under the supervision of a mental health care provider to dial it in and find out what helps. But once you figure that out, um, you get to be in charge of your own brain again. You get to be in charge of your own life again. Uh, there, you start living with less fear because um, one thing that happens when you have frequent episodes of anxiety, depression, or other types of mental health problems is that you start to worry that the next episode is right around the corner. And you start rearranging your life to manage that. Being in charge of your own brain, given the power over yourself again, you start to fear the future less. You start to realize that the next episode isn't right around the corner. And even if and when it does happen, it's not going to be that bad. That is liberating. And a lot of you have been going through life anchored carrying an anchor behind you, and you have accomplished a lot while dragging an anchor behind you that has slowed you down, that has made every accomplishment that you've done more difficult, and you have my deepest congratulations for everything that you have accomplished while dragging an invisible anchor behind you. You do not have to live with that anchor. And if you can accomplish all that you have accomplished while weighted down, imagine what you can do without that weight. So take care of your mental health, take care of yourself, and let's move forward together.